Hello and welcome. In this video, I'm going to show you how I sew a Y-seam. If you're not familiar with what a Y-seam is, it's when you see a fabric like this tumbling block where it has a rooftop and two sidewalls, and it creates the illusion of an actual block. So you see how it has a Y when I separate the fabrics? We're going to bring these two fabrics together and then have to sew this rooftop on, and this is what you call a Y-seam. And it is a really fun pattern to follow if you've ever admired the tumbling block quilts. Well, it's just a great quilt. It seems a little complicated, but you're going to see just how simple it is. First, you'll want to make sure that you sew an accurate 1/4 inch. That is very important. Having the proper 1/4 inch foot that helps you sew and maintain that seam allowance is vital, and I prefer to use our Satinedge foot for that, as you have the ability to adjust the guide on the presser foot using a measuring tape. You simply select a left needle position, then lower it so that it hovers over one of the lines on a measuring tape. Then you move this silver nut by turning it until the wire that's located inside the zigzag opening moves to the seam allowance that you have chosen to use, anywhere from 1/16 inch to just over 1/4 inch. So I have my presser foot set for a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and I'm going to go ahead and bring these two fabrics together. Now secure the beginning of the stitching line and continue sewing your 1/4 inch seam allowance. These are my Appliquick 3-hold scissors. They're more comfortable to hold in your hand. And then we're going to go ahead and open up the fabrics and press our seam open. How I like to do it is using one of my wooden pressers. You just kind of push at a 30-degree angle and rub down, and now if I do that on both sides, the seam allowance lifts up. Then you can take the presser and go in between and press that seam open. I'm using steam, by the way, and the fabric also had spray starch applied to it before I cut out my pieces. So now it lays perfectly flat, and I'm ready to begin sewing my rooftop on. In patterns like this, they tell you to sew down and stop 1/4 inch away from the edge of the material. Well, that can be a bit challenging until you realize that the 1/4 inch distance is actually this stitching line that you use to sew the two together. So that is where we're going to bring our needle down in, and we'll know that we are allowing or leaving a 1/4 inch distance to be able to sew this side onto this piece. Think of this as a butterfly. We always start on the wing that's furthest away from us and just bring this point to that point. We'll go back first and then come forward. And now I'm going to lower my needle in the actual stitching line used to sew these two pieces together. Lower your needle, raise the foot, peek and make sure your needle is actually in that space. And now we just gently kind of encourage the two fabrics to line up on the next edge. It's going to look really sloppy in here. Then you're going to lower the foot and do one stitch and lower the needle back down, raise it again, and just kind of smooth it out the rest of the way. And then sew. tighten the fabric up. It doesn't really want to lay flat, so we're going to need to go ahead and press that. Once you feel like you have it as flat as you can get it with the wooden presser, you can take it to the iron. And spray with spray starch. And this is the brand that I'm using today. This is Faultless. Push steam through. I press until I know that the fabric is dry. And then you can see how beautiful that point is. So now you can see that this isn't just doable, it's really quite simple once you understand the principles and exactly what you need to look at or how to move your fabric so that you can sew from one point to the other without having to stop and tie knots. If you like this video, hit that like button, and if you've yet to subscribe to my channel, I sure hope you'll do so today. Thanks for watching. Bye!